Hey everyone, so this week was the first week my daughter was in daycare, but the week before that, I actually had to do my third summer trial for my second chapter of my PhD. So this video, I'm just going to talk about the difference between having daycare and not having daycare and doing research. It is very different. And I just wanted to point out that this is my own experience. I'm not saying that it's the right or wrong way. I just wanted to have a video on the difference so that way if another mom comes in watching this video, she can evaluate whether or not she wants to do daycare or stay at home full time and try to take care of her PhD that way. For the past 6 months, I've been working basically full-time at home while my daughter takes naps. I'll wake up really early, about like 4 in the morning if I can, or as early as possible, and get as much work done as before she wakes up around 10 o'clock. And then during nap times, I do work on my computer. Though up until this point, I haven't had any free time to go into the lab except on weekends and when my fiance is home. So it really does eat into the time I have available for him. And so it's just balancing all of that. And someone I was talking to, they were saying that, sometimes in the middle of the week they'll go to the pool or whatever, because they work on weekends and they have that luxury. And I just remembered what it's like to be able to say that, and now it's just whenever I have free time, I'm working. I don't remember the last time I just got to do something because it was fun instead of just doing something because I had to get it done. Which is super frustrating because I know when I work from home, there's people who are sitting there saying that, I'm just relaxing at home, I'm not getting anything done. And it's just not true. And I think any mom who works from home has that experience. It's just working all the time. When you're not working, you're taking care of your baby. And I love my baby, but it's hard work. It's not just playing all day. It's doing a lot of cleaning and taking care of them. And it's hard. And I just got to a point where I was like, I need daycare. And there was this period of time for 2 weeks that I just had such anxiety about everything. I felt I wasn't getting anything done. I felt that every time I put her down for a nap, I'd open up my laptop and she'd cry. So I just stopped sleeping at night. I would stay up thinking about all of the things I needed to get done, and it just wasn't helping. So it was like 2 in the morning, 2:30, that I was looking for daycares, and almost all of the daycares around had a waiting list, and I was freaking out. I was like, I'm gonna get behind on everything. I'm not gonna get anything done. I'm not gonna graduate when I want to graduate. But I did end up finding a daycare that was close to my lab that actually had a shorter wait list. So it was the start of fall semester around now. They had an opening and I could tour the place and see how it was, so we did. And I remember going into tour, I was so scared. I didn't know what to expect. And I was like in tears. I had so much anxiety. I felt bad that I was looking at a daycare in general. But we actually really, really liked it there. So we did decide that she would end up going there, and we were put on the list to start. And she started last week. So I actually did research 2 weeks ago. So I have experience without her and with her. And I'll be doing research again in a couple weeks while she's at daycare. It actually works out really well because there was a week after my scheduled project to do a summer camp. And it was an 8 to 5 thing where I wanted to be there the whole time. So we actually flew my fiance's mother down, and she was able to watch my daughter while I did research. So it was Friday through Sunday. So my fiance had help taking care of her during the day and the weekend. And then that entire week I was doing summer camp. And that following Monday is when she started daycare. So while I would love to fly my family members down every time I have to do research, it just isn't feasible. So that's why daycare really works out, because up to this point I was able to do field research, but the processing of samples takes a really long time and it requires me to be at the lab, which means that I would have to leave her with someone or I would need to find a nanny, and nannies are super expensive. It's about double of what daycare would cost. So it really was the best option. So now I can go through all of my samples. And I had brought my daughter to my lab earlier, so meaning in my office. So I have a law office in a different building than my research building. So we have a decomp lab, so it stinks really bad. And it's not a place for a baby at all. So that's where I'd actually have to process my samples, and it's just not feasible. And my microscope at home just isn't good enough quality right now to be able to bring these samples home and process them there. So daycare really helps a whole lot. Because if I didn't have that option, what I would have to do is wait until my fiance came home from work, which would be like late at night on weekdays or weekends, and just do processing during that time. And like I had said earlier, it would eat into family time, time I would have to spend with him, and it's just, it interrupts that work-life balance. Now I'm able to drop her off on my way in, and I can go and check on her, and it's really changed a whole lot. Just in 1 week, I feel like I'm back to normal, and I don't feel all this anxiety of not being able to get things done. I do feel a little guilty that she is in daycare just because I'm not with her all the time. But that's just managing my time away from her and getting everything done so that way when I am with her, I can focus on her and my family. So the question becomes, would I have been able to do everything if I didn't choose daycare? And I think the answer is yes. Personally, I can't handle anxiety very well, so I would lose a lot of sleep over it, but I think I could. It may or may not have extended my stay here as a PhD student, just because I do that. But I do think daycare is a viable option for people who are PhD students, especially if you can go in and see your baby and actually see what she's doing during the day. So with that, that's going to be the end of the video. That's all I really have to say about that right now. If you like this video, you can like, subscribe, and from here on out, I'm going to try and get videos done once a week because, you know, daycare allows me to do that now. So stay tuned.